This is my podcast for today. I like to talk about going to church, going to Mass on Sundays. Do you know that you have to go to church every Sunday? If you don't go to church every Sunday, you will be sinning. You will be sinning because God would not like that because you don't go to church. When you do go to church on Sunday and you attend the Mass, try to get there at least 15 minutes earlier. Then don't be coming in late when the Mass has started and people singing and the priest is about to preach. When you come in respectfully. You take your seat, you sit down, and you start praying. When you come to church, you do not run in the church door. You walk nicely in the church door. And when you come down the aisle, you just sit down nicely in your pew. It's one thing that I don't understand is when people comes to church, they always taking bulletins and read them in church. You should respectfully take a bulletin after church is over. Read it when you get home to your house. Not read it during church when church is going on. You should always pay attention to what's going on in church. When you pay attention to what's going on in church, you can see what's happening in church. And then another thing about church is you see people in church be talking to people in church before Mass start. You're not supposed to be talking in church. You're supposed to be praying and asking the Lord to give you things. Asking for the Lord that you might need things. So church it's not a place to be talking. You're supposed to be praying. And when you come to church, you take part in things that's going on. Like we have a rosary in church, you're supposed to take part in the rosary. If we have anything that has to do with the church, you must take a part of it. When you take a part of it, you make yourself look very good and better. When you are in church, you're supposed to bring your book that has all the daily readings in it. Because I bring mine every time I come to church. And when you bring that, you're supposed to follow along what the lector, when he's reading or she's reading, is in your book. So you should, what pages that the gospel, the reading is coming from, you should turn to that page and read it too. And when the hymns are being sung, and then the choir director puts the hymns up on the board, you should pay attention to what's going up on the board and the numbers that you turn to in your book, and turn to the number pages in the book so you can sing the songs. You should not be getting up during Mass and going nowhere. But I see some people do that anyways. And when you're in church, God is supposed to have your 100%, but God is supposed to have your 100% participation in church at all times. And all times, you should at least attend Mass when you can. If you can't come to church because you're ill or sick, that might be understandable. But when we had COVID and COVID died down, hardly you didn't see nobody in church because they just didn't want to go because COVID reasons. But it was still COVID, and I went to church because church was a beautiful thing for me. And I love going to church because I can learn a lot from church. I go to church every Sunday, and God works mysterious ways in me. I get blessed with so many things that I feel in my heart that I like feeling because God is blessing me with these things that I'm asking for. I pray with Him every day, 24/7 every day, because that's a beautiful thing. You must pray with God. When you get up in the morning, pray with Him. If you're not doing nothing, like right now, you should be on your knees praying for things that you need. And when you're getting ready to go to bed for the night, please pray to God for things that you need. Ask Him anything that you might need, and He will do for you. Say a little prayer before you go to bed every night, because that will help. And please pray in the morning when you get up too, because that's the right thing to do too. I pray every morning I get up. I say, thank you, Lord, for this nice, beautiful day. And thank you for me starting a new day. I say at night before I go to sleep, thank you, Lord, for keeping me safe today and watch over me as I'm asleep. Because when you say that, that's showing love to Him, that you love Him and stuff. And when you love Him, that's a good thing. Because you're showing your interest in His love that He's giving you. And when you pray for another, if you pray for somebody, you should always pray silence in your heart. And then the next person might be praying for you. And when they pray for you, you know that you're getting prayed over because God will bless you with things. When I mean things is gifts that He's giving you because you're praying and you're blessing Him and worshiping Him and all that good stuff, is when you give Him all the praise and glory that He needs. When you do stuff that you know that you shouldn't be doing, God is not happy of you because you're being sneaky and doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing. You're looking at stuff on the internet that you know you shouldn't be looking at, and you think it's cool because you're getting away with it, but you're really not. Because you cannot be looking at stuff on the internet and you go to church. God do not like that. I go to church every Sunday, and I'm a faithful Catholic, because I don't look at stuff that I know I'm not supposed to be looking at. Because you don't do that. That's disrespectful to God. That's like stabbing Him in the back. You don't do that. You give God your love mercy, and honesty. You don't you don't you don't take stuff for granted that you want people to do to you. You do what's right by God. And when you do what's right by God, you will build your relationship more with Him, and you might He might prepare a place for you in heaven when you pass, because you're doing nice things for people. And when you do nice things for people, that's a beautiful thing. You get blessings back to you because you know what you are doing. Nice things to help other people. Like, for example, when you cut somebody's grass, that's a blessing to somebody, because you never know. Somebody might not have a lawnmower to cut their grass, and you giving an extra helping hand. That's beautiful on your part, because you're helping your neighbor out in the next phase that they need the help with. And they come and do the favor for you, return the favor for you, because they're blessing you with something that you might need. And when you bless other people, good things will come back to you in an orderly manner. And last point is just praying for things that you need. Like, you can pray that, I need a job. I need a new car. I need to love my family more. Or I need to love myself more. When you do that, you're looking for possibilities that you can have to own for yourself, because that's a beautiful thing. When you look after others, others will look after you. And I know that for a truth. I know that for a fact, and it's true. Because strangers have looked out for me, and they didn't even tell me. Because they know that I got that love and honesty in me. And that's how I know that I'm loved, because I do stuff for people because it comes from the kindness of my heart. Because I'm just a nice person. And I love helping people, because that's just a beautiful thing. And I hope you guys help people too, because God will bless you for things that you need. And when you bless somebody, they will come back and double time help you out in your blessings, in your strength, in your love for other people that you don't know, because you never know who's blessing you. So that's my podcast for today, and I hope you like it. Thank you. I went a little longer today, and it's 2:31, but I'm sorry. And hope this is a good podcast, and have a good day. Thank you.